What's good, my tribe? This is Kyle here with day 6 of the 90-day YouTube challenge as I explore some of my past and kind of what led me to the spiritual path. Last video I left off talking about some of the unhealthy patterns that I began to develop, particularly around my relationship with myself, my thoughts, and my relationship with money and society in general. And all around this time, I was graduating high school, and I ended up getting into the University of Delaware to study classical guitar. But I ended up only staying a semester and realized that I hated being away from my friends and my family, and ended up moving back home to be closer to my girlfriend and to save some money and go to community college for a few years instead. And I'd been producing music since high school, but I really started getting more into this. I really wanted to be a musician or a music producer. And although I had dropped out of the classical guitar program, I was still into producing my own music and still pretty heavily into psychedelics. And my inward-facing interests definitely began to lead me to develop more introverted habits, and I became less and less interested in socializing in general. Along with the 1960s sort of psychedelic rock interests, I also started getting more into electronic music and rave culture and MDMA, as this was sort of the time when EDM and dubstep really started kind of exploding on the scene. And on the one hand, I was, into this love and compassion and all this new age stuff. On the other hand, I was getting really involved in this sort of hedonistic lifestyle, these Molly-fueled dubstep shows. And, my initial enlightenment experience kind of became a thing of the past. And I ended up having this sort of underlying ego complex that I was smarter than others and more spiritual than everyone around me. This is a little bit tough for me to share, but around this time I really started, I guess you could say, having a dark night of the soul. I've never really expressed this anywhere before, but I had this sort of downward spiral into my own darkness and isolation, as the floodgates of my own subconscious mind of repressed emotional material from my teens kind of opened up, along with these interests in unhealthy hedonism and spiritual enlightenment. It wasn't a very good mix. And I was just trying to figure out what to do with my life. And I was getting so caught up in my own mind and my own bullshit that I was kind of becoming unrelatable, while also spiritually bypassing with these past psychedelic experiences as sort of excuses. And my girlfriend of 6 years around that time ended up breaking up with me, and I got pretty heavy into the whole rave culture and MDMA, and my mind seemingly started to get darker. I think mostly it was due to the fact that I was just constantly pushing it away, constantly correcting my thoughts that would flow through my mind, but also had a sense that at times, some of these thoughts weren't even my own, and I thought maybe I was tuning into other people's thoughts and energies, and I still felt like the need that I had to correct these thoughts. And then things really started to get weird in my life as the psychedelic experience started becoming darker and started having these bad trips, and I felt like I could no longer just focus. I felt like I had lost control, and I started getting paranoid because some of the stuff that was kind of happening around me seemed to have this really strange correspondence with what was going on in my mind at the time. And I couldn't tell if I was just becoming more sensitive and psychic, or if I was just becoming crazy. And one of the reasons why I loved going to these raves was because of this experience of kind of being one with everyone and kind of merging with the collective. Like we really were all this one mind. And I had so many crazy coincidences. But I got to the point where I couldn't really tell what was my own and what was somebody else's or what was the collective. And I was just paranoid that everyone could hear my own thoughts. I became super sensitive to what I was thinking and almost afraid of my own mind because I was afraid of like how it would manifest around me. And it just got to a point where I realized that I really needed to get healthy and I really needed to just stop all the bullshit. I needed to stop doing the drugs and really figure out my life. And I was, always the person who figured that I was strong enough to do it on my own, so I would never communicate what was going on, mentally or emotionally to anyone around me. I was very much hiding this and kind of taking this on myself, continually just becoming more quiet and keeping this all to myself because I didn't want to be viewed as crazy. I didn't want to, get therapy. I didn't want to do any of that. I really wanted to do this on my own. And looking back on it, I realized I probably made it a lot harder on myself. Probably would have helped by opening up and telling my parents and my friends what was going on. But I instead, just really started getting more involved in meditation, and that really helped, along with stop doing some of these substances. So yeah, I think we'll stop there for today. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys for taking the time to listen, to explore this journey with me. So I hope you are all well. Much love and light. May peace be with you.